Today I want to show you how to make one of my all-time favorite cakes that I grew up eating, which is this really easy and fast apple cake that kind of looks like a rose. So for the actual cake, you're going to need 125 grams of softened butter, a good splash of vanilla, 100 grams of sugar, as well as a good pinch of salt, 3 room temperature eggs, 200 grams of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, around 3 tablespoons of milk, as well as 25 grams of melted butter, around 3 apples, give or take, and the juice of 1 lemon. Now you can also use the zest from that lemon in the dough, or you can use some grated packaged lemon zest. Now before we make the actual dough, I want to prepare the apples. So I'm going to just start by peeling my apples and de-seeding them. Now there's a couple different ways that you can slice your apples depending on how you want the finished apple cake to look. So you could either leave your apples just like this and cut a couple of slits into each one. Or what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice each apple into nice slices so they're nice and even, and I'm going to use that to create a pattern on the top of my apple cake. But again, it depends on how much time you have and how much patience you have to do this. Now to prevent my apples from getting all brown while I'm making the cake, I'm going to juice my lemon and just give it a nice mix. I'm just going to give this a toss to make sure that every apple slice is covered in that lemon juice. Now that we've prepared the apples, we can go ahead and start with the actual dough. So the first thing I'm actually going to do is preheat my oven to 180 degrees Celsius or 360 degrees Fahrenheit. Now as always, we're going to add our softened butter, sugar, salt, vanilla, and our lemon zest into our KitchenAid and let that get super light and fluffy for about 10 minutes before we add in our eggs one at a time. I'm gonna add about half of this package. That should be good. Now that the eggs are all mixed in, I'm going to switch to this attachment and simply fold in my dry ingredients alternating with the milk. I'm going to start by maybe doing half of the flour. let this mix until the flour is mostly combined because I don't want to overmix it at this point. And I'm just going to add the rest of my milk and of the flour. I'm just going to transfer this into my pre-lined baking tray and then smooth it out. The last thing we have to do is make some sort of pattern with our apple slices and kind of slightly press them into the dough. Now before this cake bakes for 40 to 45 minutes, we're going to brush the tops of the apples with some of that melted butter. So the cake's all done now, and I just dusted it with some powdered sugar, so now it's ready to be enjoyed.